Increasing numbers of EU nationals are abusing the common travel agreement the UK has with Ireland to enter the UK illegally and work, GB News can reveal.
Yes, many Romanians and Bulgarians in particular are avoiding border checks by crossing from the Republic, with others simply arriving on tourist visas and then finding work and then outstaying their visa.
Well, our Home and Security editor Mark White was given exclusive access to accompany immigration enforcement teams who've increased the number of raids they carry out by a third since the new government came to power.
Under the cover of darkness, immigration officers and police move into this large agricultural business in North Wales.
No one up there? No, I'm in touch.
They're on the hunt for immigrants working here illegally. And it doesn't take long to find their first suspect.
On you now.
The man they've detained is a Romanian national.
What's your permission to be in the UK? You got a visa to come to the UK?
For several years after Brexit, EU citizens enjoyed a grace period when authorities didn't prosecute those working here unlawfully. But now, if they breach the rules, they're treated like any other illegal immigrant.
What visa have you got? Work visa?
For 6 months, yeah.
6 months? Visit visa?
Yes.
Okay, right. You're not allowed to work with that, okay? So at the moment, okay, you're under arrest, okay? For breaching the conditions of your leave to remain in the UK. Do you understand?
As fellow officers search for other suspects, the Romanian has walked back to his accommodation on the site for further checks.
Anybody else in your caravan?
Inside a cluster of caravans, more suspects, all Romanian, are being questioned.
Where is your passport?
Officers told me they see very significant numbers of Romanians and Bulgarians in particular abusing UK immigration rules to work here illegally. An increasingly popular means of arrival is through the common travel arrangement with Ireland, and some of those detained here may well have come through that route.
We've got individuals that we've got a trace of them exiting the country. We've got no trace of them coming into the country. So we haven't bottomed that out yet, but what we found in the past is that they will have come through Ireland and then through the common travel area, you know, avoiding the controls.
In nearby offices, another group of Romanians are being questioned. Although the Home Office was unable to provide us with a detailed breakdown of the number of EU nationals arrested on immigration offences over the past year, this enforcement team told me it's definitely on the rise, and many are coming through Ireland.
Not just the EEA nationals that are going through Ireland, it's other foreign nationals, because it can be like the back door into the UK. So you've got the small boats where people are coming in illegally. You've got other clandestine that come in the back of lorry, but obviously there's the abuse of the CTA as well.
Many others are simply arriving on tourist visas and then finding employment in breach of the law. As officers question the suspects with the help of interpreters over the phone, it quickly becomes apparent why some are willing to take the risk.
Okay, so how much do you get paid?
1,000 a week.
£1,000 per week.
For those employing illegal workers, these enforcement raids can be very costly indeed, with fines of up to £45,000 per illegal worker. Yet right across the country, thousands of employers continue to flout the law. Since Labour came to power, immigration enforcement raids have increased by more than a third over the same period the year before. But despite more than 3,000 arrests over the past 6 months, it's still only a tiny fraction of the number of illegal immigrants here, with unofficial estimates putting that figure at more than 1.5 million. Mark White, GB News, North Wales.
Well, Mark White from GB News, who was in North Wales, is now in the studio here in London. Joins us now.
It was a long drive back, I have to say. And I was rather tired after that raid.
But this was exclusive access to one of these raids, and these raids have been increasing.
Yeah, they have. I mean, I guess to Labour's credit, in the 6 months or more now that they've been in power, it's up 32% on what it was under the Conservatives. That's not to say that the Conservatives hadn't also increased the level of immigration enforcement. But the truth is, despite the really good work that these immigration teams are doing, and they are all around the country, you never see them, in your daily life. They just get on and they're raiding these unscrupulous employers who are employing illegal overseas workers that are not supposed to be here. They have no right to work here. It's a drop in the ocean, as I said towards the end of the piece. The number of people here working illegally is at least 1.5 million. We don't know the true figure. So the government doesn't publish it. The government can't publish it because it's the great unknown. But we know it's a big, big issue.
I mean, as a woman, my first concern is safety, really. And if our government doesn't know who's in this country, then I don't feel particularly safe. And I know a lot of women and girls feel exactly that way. I must say that a lot of people getting in touch saying, oh, this is the low-hanging fruit. This is the easy stuff when it comes to illegal migration, workers who could have previously been on seasonal worker visas and things like this. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think it is an issue, though, that has to be dealt with because, you have got very significant numbers of people. And I've said 1.5 million, but there are many who believe it's much higher than that. That's 1.5 million people, at the very least, who are in this country making many hundreds of millions, billions of pounds that then does not go to the exchequer, but yet they will still be there, probably using the kind of public services that other people find it increasingly difficult to get appointments at, the likes of doctors, the likes of potentially children at school. Some of these illegal workers do have some form of documentation. Often it's forged, but it allows them to get some of the public services that they're not paying for because they're not in any way, shape or form.
The NHS aren't border control, so they don't ask.
Indeed.
So there you go.
But all of this fits into a political narrative, and we are seeing significant shifts in the political makeup of the United Kingdom as we speak. In the last few minutes, a new poll has been published by the company Find Out Now. They're a British Polling Council registered pollster, reputable pollster, that has now the Reform Party in first place on 27% of the vote, ahead of the Labour Party, which is on 23%, and the Tories down on 21. Mark, this is no doubt in part a response to the migration situation, both legal and illegal, that we're seeing in the country.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, because it's not one rogue poll anymore, is it? We are seeing consistently poll after poll showing Reform now overtaking Labour and so well ahead of the Conservatives. Remember, just a few months back, it was big news that they'd drawn level with the Tories. Well, now they're well surpassing the Conservatives. And you're right to say that immigration, I think, is a big, big issue at play here, because Reform have been front and centre of trying to highlight the migration crisis in this country, not just illegal migration, but of course legal migration, which is running at 750,000, even 1 million a year, the truer figures that come out a little bit later.
Yeah, they're
after
always
the
revised
official
upwards,
figures.
aren't they? Never downwards.
That.
But GB News is rightly highlighting some of the crazy cases of foreign criminals who've come here illegally, then committed crimes, and then somehow are able to stay in this country because of their human rights or their right to a family life and things like this. And these are the sort of things that people are just absolutely sick of. So they're going to go to a party who's going to try and deal with that, I suppose.